It's the Shatkin First Down Pregame Show, presented by Dr. Todd Shatkin and the Aesthetic Associates Center, with your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Dr. Jared Shatkin. Now, from the Shatkin Sports Network studios in Amherst, here are your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Jared Shatkin.
There's the fan cam.
There it is.
From Monday Night Football out at Highmark, the Bills and the Jaguars. Welcome to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. And look at the crazies getting wild. Chris Fowler and Orlovsky and Louis Riddick talked a lot about the fan base there. Jared, you were in the stadium. Talk about the atmosphere for Monday Night Football.
No, I was there. It was electric atmosphere from start to finish. I think the fans thought they needed to play a bigger role this game than the other games, but it turned out the game was a blowout anyway, which just led to a lot of partying.
For sure. And why not, right? So the Bills off to a 3-0 start. And I think, look, head and shoulders above anybody else in the league. I mean, it's not even close. I mean, they were dominating their opponents. They've had basically 2 bad quarters of football, and they weren't even that bad, really, in the first 2 quarters of the Arizona game. Other than that, they have been absolutely fantastic, and Josh Allen only gets better and better, as does the Joe Brady offense.
Yeah, Josh Allen was absolutely on point, and I think he's been on point all season, doing exactly what they've asked of him. But it helps when you have Joe Brady scheming up plays that gets guys wide open for 30 yards from the line of scrimmage. That fourth down to Shakir earlier in the game, I watched some tape on it. They were in man coverage, and the guy on the Jacksonville Jaguars was on the other side of the field when Shakir caught the ball. Joe Brady is in his bag right now. I'm afraid he's going to get a head coaching job, but while we have him, we might as well go win the Super Bowl.
Well, it'll be interesting because I thought the same thing. And then, again, talking with some friends, I brought up Eric Bieniemy, for instance, in Kansas City. I'm like, you're the OC for the Chiefs. You have Patrick Mahomes. I know you want to be a head coach somewhere, but if you do become a head coach somewhere, why is that happening? Because that team was terrible the year before and probably doesn't have a great quarterback. Now, you might draft somebody, but the odds of him being at the Josh Allen level is almost impossible. So maybe Brady understands that and sticks around. But I want to say something about Joe Brady that I thought was interesting. Cook last year against the Jaguars didn't have a lot of success in that game, and the Jaguars defense was giving up under 4 yards per carry. So what does he do? He throws. And he throws against a coach who likes to play man. Yep. So they were throwing against man and beating it consistently, and Joe Brady said, let's keep going. Why not? And they couldn't find a way to stop them until basically halftime. And that is when, I guess everybody sort of pulled back a little bit in terms of the Bills, and the game became what it became. But still, think about that. The Bills scored 13 points in the second half, some with the backups in the game against a Jags team who really was defeated very, very early in that game.
Yeah, they were defeated probably on that fourth down I was talking about. It seemed like from start to finish, we dominated that entire game. And I'm saying the players on the Jacksonville Jaguars are talented. It's not that. It was the desperation that we thought they would have coming in. They didn't have it. I certainly expected more from them, but I'm excited that they didn't have it.
Yeah, and Brady, again, here's a guy that was just man-busting all day long. Just think about all the touchdowns. Here's Coleman, who basically crosses in, you could call it a pick, but it really wasn't a pick.
Yeah.
But, if the guy's head's not on a swivel, he sort of sees a guy coming at him out of the corner of his eye, he might avoid covering Coleman like maybe he could have or should have. But he also knew, did Brady, that the Jaguars were down 2 starters. Their third starter on the defense got hurt in the first series of the game. So now they're down 3 guys. Why not continue what they were doing? But, yeah, think about the touchdowns between Kincaid's play, Coleman's play. Shakir's touchdown was tremendous. Ty Johnson, the ball that Josh Allen threw to him was absolutely ridiculous. It was almost a flawless performance from the Bills.
And what I love about Joe Brady's play calling is he lets Josh be the player that he knows Josh can be, but he also doesn't put too much weight on his shoulders. So Josh is making some unbelievable throws, and it's not because he necessarily has to do it. It's because he has the confidence and the calm to be able to leave the pocket and throw an absolute dart to Kincaid. And he's got the confidence that, there was a play to Marquez Valdes-Scantling. He throws it to him, he drops it, the next play goes right back to him. That's because these guys are really clicking on all cylinders. They have a really, really strong locker room, and the chemistry in that locker room is starting to show.
For sure, and Davis and Coleman get their first pro touchdowns. And I like the fact that the offensive line got some credit last night because they have played their blanks off all year long to this point. We question whether or not center and guard were going to be an issue. They clearly aren't. The tackles are playing like they should to their contracts. Torrance has been great, and they've been great in both the run and pass game. Pass pro, they've been great, and they've been great letting Cook, letting Davis, and even Ty Johnson run well behind them.
Yeah, I love the way that the offensive line is playing, but I also love the way that the players are buying into blocking, even the receivers, the running backs. You see James Cook threw a huge block on that touchdown pass. It's just guys giving as much effort as they possibly can.
Yeah, 5 sacks too. The Ingram Lewis sack. You got Epinesa. You got Tuhill. You got Von Miller with another great sack. I mean, I know we're going to talk a little bit later about the incentives that you read about, but my gosh, if he continues at the pace he's going, he's going to hit that. And Solomon, the rookie out of Troy, that I think everybody's got big upside, he also had a sack. You got 3 UB Bulls on the field at one time on the defense, and I love the fact that Buffalo Joe got in the football game in a game at a time in the game when it wasn't emergent. He wasn't filling in for somebody that was injured. He can go in, play in a regular season NFL game, and play at his pace and speed and adjust. And I thought that was great for him.
Yeah, everyone is really, truly buying in. The rookies all looked very good. I think Ray Davis getting a touchdown should be huge for his confidence. And I'm excited to see what the rest of the season has to offer, because at this point, I didn't think they would necessarily be 3-0, and look at 3-0 with a plus 57 point differential. Yeah, they're looking very good.
And listen, high plus point differential for the Bills, it's been something we've been used to in Buffalo and in the Josh Allen and Sean McDermott years. So this is starting to kind of go that way. And you wonder, man, the bar is high now for them based on what they did against the Jaguars now going into Baltimore. We'll talk more about the Ravens coming up as well as we continue here on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo Pregame Show.
It's apple picking time. When was the last time you bit into an apple? With affordable Shatkin Mini Dental Implants, you can. Stabilize your dentures and replace missing teeth in as little as 1 visit. You can be you again, only better. Call the Aesthetic Associate Center today at 716-839-1700 for your free consultation.
RV shoppers, Myers RV invites you to shop over 100 brands of travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, and motorhomes from all the leading manufacturers. Myers RV is the largest family-owned RV dealer in the Northeast with over 2,000 new and used RVs in stock. Right now, all remaining 2024 models are being offered at drastically reduced prices. Myers RV has 3 convenient locations in Rochester to serve you. Just a quick trip east on the 90 to save you thousands. Online at MyersRVs.com. Go Bills!
Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Shatkin here with Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas.
My family and I have been coming to Dr. Shatkin's dental office for years. The office is beautiful and the staff is outstanding.
Thanks, Thurman. It's been an honor for me to take care of you and your family.
For a Hall of Fame smile, go where the pros go. Dr. Todd Shatkin at the Aesthetic Associate Center.
Call today for a free consultation, 839-1700.
All right, welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo Pregame Show. It's time to go in the pocket. With our quarterback on set every week, Sam Castronova, Offensive Player of the Year in the Indoor Football League with the San Antonio Gunslingers returning. Hey, what's up with Trevor Lawrence, man? Is he just not that good? We were talking, friends of mine, before we came on and did the show about how, man, that guy has just been sort of, I don't want to say gifted, but he's always been on really, really good teams. He's always been, the player on all of those really, really good teams coming up from high school through Clemson. And now he's got a team that's kind of in flux, and now he's really struggling. What do you think is Trevor Lawrence's issue? 8 straight losses for them, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can go back to last week when I said he hasn't been playing very well, and he's been very average, if that, in his career. I don't know what it is exactly. It just doesn't seem like the confidence is there. Like he was amazing in college, and I thought he was really good. And at one point before Josh turned into who he was, I said I would trade Josh for the #1 pick. I'm so glad I'm not a Brandon Beane, but I don't know. He's just like Dan Orlovsky was saying. It's kind of footwork sometimes. He's just he's just overstriding and stuff because he's just such an athlete. He probably thinks he can get away with some stuff, but he just probably needs to clean up. He's gotten lazy, and I don't know. It's very interesting.
He could take a lesson from some of the other more successful quarterbacks in the league about just have a little bit of fire, right? I mean, he seems to have. He wears the C on his jersey, and yet he doesn't seem like a guy that leads. He's just kind of moseying his way through the games.
Yeah,
you know?
it doesn't seem very authentic either. It's just kind of
good word.
Yeah.
Excellent word. Let's switch gears now. Obviously, Lamar Jackson. Now, look, in the first half of the Cardinals game, Kyler Murray was pretty good moving around in that pocket and did some damage with his legs, and we know Lamar's capable of that. The Bills kind of tightened things up in that second half, and he wasn't as capable to do the things he was doing. You could argue that similarly for the Ravens, you know, the skill players that Lamar have are kind of similar to what Arizona had. I mean, sans Marvin Harrison, obviously, but nobody really stands out. Flowers is a really good player, not great. And then you got some guys out of the backfield that can catch the football. They now have a little bit of relief in Henry running the ball, so not everything's on Lamar. But other than that, I mean, it's a bunch of guys. It's kind of like we talk about the 10 guys Josh spread the ball around to in the Jaguars game. It's kind of the same for Lamar. He's spreading it out to 3 different tight ends, a couple different running backs.
Pat Ricard.
Yeah, right? I mean, it's all over the place. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing a good job of spreading the ball out. Like you said, they don't have that guy, though, that like Marvin Harrison. I mean, the Bills don't really either, but I think Shakir's kind of slowly turning into that wide receiver one. But it's kind of the same as Kyler, even more, I think, because I think Kyler might be a little bit better thrower from the pocket than Lamar is. But just keep him in the pocket and against the run game, just be gap-oriented. Because if you miss one gap, Henry's gone, but if you don't let him get ahead of steam, we're gonna bottle him up. So it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, Lamar's been playing kind of up and down, running a lot against the Chiefs. If we can stop him from running the ball, we'll have a very good chance of winning the game.
Yeah, I mean, and who spies him? Dorian Williams? I mean, he might be your best athlete in the second level anyway.
Yeah, I almost wonder if you go man coverage and have 2 spies, one on the right, one on the left, because he's so athletic that if you miss by half a second, bye-bye.
Yeah, and I like the way the secondary is playing at this point. They may be able to do that against Flowers and Bateman and whoever else.
Yeah, because I mean that's their most dangerous weapon is his leg. So
all right,
if we can stop it, good luck.
Give it a whirl, and we're going to see you with the Mafia. All right, welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. We're joined by the Mafia, and a first-timer at the table finally gave us some smarts. Greg Brown is here, former U.S. prosecutor, correct? Federal prosecutor?
Assistant U.S. attorney, federal prosecutor, yes.
Went to Brown. His last name is Brown. That's also wrote for the Buffalo Challenger and continues to a little bit here and there, right?
Well, yeah, I pick up the bills during the season and I write. It's just kind of a labor of love, a hobby for me, but it's fun to do.
So, okay, let's start with you. Of course, we got Jared, we got Sam, we got Bob. He's been here many times before. Of course, he can't win with the Sorrentinos as part of, well, he could, but whatever. So you're writing about the Monday Night Football game.
That's right.
What's your headline?
My headline was that the Bills turned the Jags into alley cats in a 47-10 rout.
Love it.
That was the headline.
Love it. Yeah. Love it. And obviously really, really impressive was this team. Bob, let's go to you. Are you drinking the Kool-Aid? I mean, I know a lot of times when the Bills start great, the optimism sort of takes over in the fan base, and yet somewhere way in the back of the brain, there's that little bit of doubt. Where are you?
Yeah, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. You know, I like the fact that he has 10 different receivers caught balls last night. Diggs is gone, and I think that's a good thing. You know, I think there was a lot of pressure on Josh to get him the ball all the time, and I think this has completely lifted the burden on the team itself, and he's relaxed and comfortable, and you could see it last night. And Joe Brady's been a great addition as far as the play caller, and, you know, I'm excited. I mean, we've got the running game working, and you can't just win with the passing game, so I'm excited.
Yeah, passer, Sam. Talk about Josh. I mean, he was almost effortless.
Yeah, it's so nice to see Josh as part of a system instead of being the system. Joe Brady's just been in his bag this year, and I think we started to see it at the end of last year, but to have a whole offseason and all that, it's been very impressive so far, and I'm excited to see what the rest of the season. But, I mean, Josh was lights out last night. He did almost throw that pick in the end zone, which is like, I was like, just didn't want to throw any interceptions, but he was unbelievable. First half, lights out, and I mean, at that point, I mean, the game was over.
Yeah, and how about that defense, Jared? 5 sacks, including ones from guys that you didn't think were even going to play last night, in terms of Solomon, the rookie out of Troy, and then Bob Miller with a terrific sack last night, right?
Yeah, and he was exploded through the line and got that sack. So I saw his incentives today, and it says if he gets up to 15 sacks, he gets $9.5 million. And I feel like if he keeps going on this way, he might make some money. But the defense was awesome. They're playing that deep cover 2, keeping everything in front of them. And the way that the Bobby Babbitt disguised the defense, it felt like it kind of had Trevor Lawrence confused most of the game. He was throwing balls that he never should have thrown. Threw one directly to DeMar Hamlin, and there we go. The rest is history.
Yeah, Greg.
There were some pressure packages last night that were newer. Like, usually we're just kind of sitting back, but he was dialing it up last night. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, Greg, let me ask you, we're going to wrap up the Jaguar game with you. Talk a little bit about DeMar's interception. Obviously, so meaningful. You've covered Bills football for a long time, and obviously what happened to him a couple of years ago on Monday Night Football. Then he gets the pick, his first ever on Monday Night Football. I mean, talk about the emotion you felt watching that, and what do you think it was like for him going through that?
You know, that was a very special moment, but it was a special moment not just for DeMar Hamlin and all of what he's been through, but it was a special moment for that entire Bills organization. You could see the players, the staff, the coaches, they all rallied around him. And that interception in that moment, you know, there was a lot of fairy dust that got spread, you know, throughout that organization and over that entire stadium. And I'm just hoping that, you know, we'll manage to hold on to a little of that, because if they do, the Bills showed some magic, and if they can keep some of that going through the season, they'll be Super Bowl contenders.
All right, I'm going to stay with you for our picks here, because I don't know, it got out, somebody leaked the fact that you were not, you were saying 3 wins is enough for the Bills at this point. You're going to pick Baltimore on Sunday night?
Absolutely not. 3 wins is not nearly enough. As Josh said, you don't get into the playoff after 3 games. What I do believe, though, is that Baltimore is going to be a very hungry and desperate team. Pittsburgh in their division is also 3-0. They can't afford to fall much further behind. And so I think they're going to come out with a lot of desperation. They're playing at home. The same kind of desperation that Jacksonville should have had, I think the Ravens will. They're a rugged, bruising kind of team, and they've got their own Caped Crusader in the person of Lamar Jackson. So I just think it'll be a close game, but I'm putting my money on the Ravens.
Okay, and he's got a Robin too in the form of Derrick Henry. So I need to get a score prediction before I move away from you. What do you think?
I'm going to go with the Ravens at 24-21.
Close game. All right,
game.
Bob, over to you.
You know what? I'm going to go 24-20 Buffalo. I mean, we've replaced 6 starters from last year's team. I think Brandon Beane has done an unbelievable job getting us better and younger, and I think we're going to see better results throughout the year. So 24-20 Buffalo.
Sam?
I'm going to go 31-28 on a Tyler Bass game winner.
Ooh, okay. All right. Fair enough. Our predictions coming up in a second. But right now, we got to get you guys some dough, courtesy of Sorrentino's. Thank you again, Bob and your brother, of course, over there on Main Street. And what we're doing this year is a little bit different. If you're joining us for the first time this year, we're doing crossover players that played for both teams. I'll ask a question, and basically, if you guys know the answer, who you think it is, just throw out a name. If you're right, you're eating. We're going to feed you, just like James Cook has done all year, and obviously the 10 receivers did last night. So we'll start here. This gentleman played for 6 teams, 2 years for Baltimore, 3 years for Buffalo. His first game as a Bill landed him on the Sports Illustrated cover. Who was that?
Sam Adams.
Sam Adams is right with the interception on Tom Brady in that 31-0 2003 opening win. Well done.
Everybody
You're eating.
eats right now.
This player played for 4 teams, won multiple Super Bowls, including one with the Patriots, one with Baltimore. He had 2 runs with the Bills, and he's the first running back ever to go to the Pro Bowl without carrying the football in a season. Anyone?
Oh.
I'll give you a hint.
It's got to be a return, man.
Same name. He's a running back. I mentioned that. He's the same first name as our first player that we mentioned.
Oh,
Ward number 33.
Sam Gash.
Sam Gash is right.
Yes, good.
First player to ever
What year
make the
was
Pro
that?
Bowl without carrying the football.
Was it 99?
Pretty remarkable. Yeah. Lastly, this guy jumped around in college. He needed special permission from a Bills Hall of Famer to get his jersey number as well. And he might have dropped a very important pass for Baltimore in a particular game in an AFC championship that may have kept them from going to the Super Bowl. Lee Evans is right. Yeah. All right, guys. We're 2 for 3.
Wow.
Not bad. Well done. Greg, great job. Great to meet you. I'm happy that you were here. We'd love to invite you back, okay?
Thank you.
And Bob, of course, thank you, my friend. Thank you for Sorrentinos providing the food for all of you. All right, we'll come back and break down the Bills and the Ravens Sunday Night Football when we return on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
My self-esteem wasn't where it should have been because I was really, really self-conscious about my teeth. When I walked into Shatkin Dental, I was instantly ready for the residency program. I knew that that is what I needed. I needed the discount. I needed the dentist that was going to fix everything. My self-esteem is already getting much, much, much higher just from starting the procedures.
Call Shatkin Dental Health today at 43 Smile for quality dental care you can afford.
Wow! What a difference a smile makes. Embarrassed to smile? Call us today for a free consultation.
RV shoppers, Myers RV invites you to shop over 100 brands of travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, and motorhomes from all the leading manufacturers. Myers RV is the largest family-owned RV dealer in the Northeast with over 2,000 new and used RVs in stock. Right now, all remaining 2024 models are being offered at drastically reduced prices. Myers RV has 3 convenient locations in Rochester to serve you. Just a quick trip east on the 90 to save you thousands. Online at MyersRVs.com. Go Bills!
It means a lot to be able to work with my dad to continue this legacy that we have going on.
I had many implants. Once I got them, it was like the old me came back.
The changes you can make in such a short period of time in somebody's life, have somebody in the chair crying because they finally have a full set of teeth. And I think the only way to do it in that type of time period for that type of price is really the mini implant.
Mini dental implants can change your life too. Call us at 839-1700 for a free consultation. Are you hungry? Eat! Stabilize your loose dentures with Shatkin Mini Dental Implants.
All right, welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Let's get into it. Bills, Ravens, again, Sunday Night Football. And look, the special night games, the weird schedule that the Bills have had to work through in this first quarter of the season, really, Jared, to this point, hasn't affected them at all.
No, I think it's given them some extra rest. They basically got some rest from Thursday to Monday night, and now, yeah, it's not extra rest necessarily, but it's a night game on a Sunday, so it gives some guys a little bit of time to rest up and ice up before the 8:20 game. So I love the way that the team is playing, and I think the schedule is not really an issue. No.
Yeah, I mean, and this was that part of the schedule which we talked about at the very beginning of the year, where it's here we are at the Ravens, then at the Texans, then at the Jets. But again, the Texans with a massive hiccup this past weekend. The Jets, I don't think we really know what they are. But we're not here to talk about those teams. We're here to talk about the Ravens. Obviously, they come off a game where they dominated the Cowboys for a long time on the road. And the Cowboys at this point, I don't think, are good. And I am really shocked that McCarthy is, quite frankly, still their coach after their most recent home games, where in pretty much every one of them they've gotten blown out. Had it not been for a late game comeback by them, which made no sense to me. I mean, the Ravens were dominating that entire game. To let the Cowboys back in the game the way they did, based on their talent and leadership, because they're all vets on that back end of the Raven defense, I was very surprised that happened. But let's talk about the Ravens. All 3 games determined by a total of 15 points, even though they're 1-2. And people talk about desperation for this team. Obviously, I'm thinking John Harbaugh is thinking with the Steelers at 3-0, he's probably thinking the same thing. We got to win this game at home.
Yeah, there's definitely some pressure going on in the Ravens locker room right now. They're a hungry team. They're going to come out firing. They're home on a Sunday night. It's definitely going to be an exciting night for the Ravens, but they got the Buffalo Bills coming to town.
Lamar, obviously, athletic quarterback. And look, I mean, you got to keep him in the pocket. You got to keep him under wraps. Did a lot of damage in that opener against Kansas City, so you know what he's capable of. But they have a difference maker in Derrick Henry, who is an absolute beast.
Yeah, he is an absolute beast. And I think he's definitely going to be a problem with the lack of depth that we have in the linebacking core. Our defensive line has to have a strong game to keep him in wraps. He's going to get his. He's going to have a couple big runs. He's going to stiff arm a couple guys to the ground, but I trust McDermott's defensive plan for this next game. I think he's played pretty well against some top running backs.
Are we concerned in terms of their pass game about the tight ends with Andrews and Likely and Kohler, who's actually had a role, and then Justice Hill out of the backfield with their wideouts? Are we concerned with the ability of Lamar Jackson to go to all those different guys?
Yeah, I think they're going to have a pretty nice passing attack. They probably will play a little bit of small ball this game and kind of dink and dunk their way down the field. I'm not overly concerned with the guys they have in the passing game. I think we have a couple players that match up to it and a scheme that matches up to it pretty well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they may, again, to your point, try and keep the Bills off the field, right? The way the Bills have been playing offensively. Defensively for them, 10 sacks, 13 tackles for loss, couple of picks, but Mahomes 290, Minshew had 276 and completed about 80% of his passes in that game. The Raiders win over the Ravens in Baltimore. And then Prescott had almost 400, yes, in that comeback game when the points were kind of in garbage time. They're only giving up 50 yards a game rushing. So what do the Bills do offensively? Do they run more? Do they pass more? Because to this point, they've been unpredictable.
Well, I think that you win Super Bowls with your quarterback, and you beat the top teams in the AFC with your quarterback. So in my opinion, I think Joe Brady's going to dial up a very similar game plan to the one we had against Jacksonville. We're going to come out throwing early, hopefully get up big, and then kind of just hold down the fort.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's get to the prediction for the game. Obviously, you're up first. I think I know which way you're going.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bills. I think Lamar Jackson's had his trouble with the Buffalo defense. I think we're going to win 27-10.
27-10. I think the Ravens have a good defensive game, but I still like the Bills in this one. We'll go 23-17 Bills. A little bit closer, but I like the Bills to go to 4-0. And, man, I didn't think that at the beginning of the year at all, but I'm going to stand by my prediction as much as I don't like to at this point because, well, that's why we do it, right? All right, we've got to thank our sponsors, Aesthetic Associates, Shatkin Dental, Dr. Todd Shatkin, Sorrentinos, Myers RV, our guests as part of the Mafia, and, of course, you for watching. Sunday Night Football, the Bills and Ravens feeling like another playoff game. Go Bills. Thanks again for watching.
In the Pocket is sponsored by Mini Dumpster Rental. Call 716-429-6362. This has been a production of the Shatkin Sports Network.
Attention, Amherst community. Are you ready to declutter and protect your personal information? Join us for the Amherst South Rotary Club's Shredded event on October 19th from 9 a.m. to noon. Bring your old sensitive materials to our secure shredding event. Your $10 donation per box will help fund our community service projects. It's a safe way to dispose of your confidential documents while supporting the Amherst South Rotary Club. Dr. Sam and Dr. Todd Shatkin from the Aesthetic Associates Center will be hosting this event at 2500 Kensington Avenue. Mark your calendars for October 19th. For more details, visit our website or contact us today. Together, we can make a difference in our community.